As things are starting to reopen here in Massachusetts, and I'm sure this is going on in other places, there have been a lot of restrictions put out as to what weddings are going to look like. There's some concerning things, though, that I'm starting to hear, and I know one large chain hotel in Boston has put out that they are not allowing DJs at all for any weddings that are held at their venue. The rules in Massachusetts have stipulated that there are to be no dance floors at weddings. But it's really short-sighted to completely eliminate DJs from people's weddings and from events. So one of the biggest concerns is that a whole part of our industry is just being told by this one venue, and there may be others to come, that they're not going to allow them to operate on their premises for no good reason. A DJ brings so much more to a wedding than just playing music for people to dance to. Many weddings don't have a day of coordinator or don't have a wedding planner that is keeping things running smoothly, and oftentimes that falls upon the DJ to do that. That's just one of the many things that DJs do at weddings. There are other ways that DJs can provide services to wedding clients that don't involve having dance floors, and some of them are already done on a regular basis. Very often, the flow of the formalities, and in fact, I wouldn't even say very often, I'd say almost all of the time, the flow of the formalities at a wedding is handled by the DJ. The DJ is the MC, the master of ceremonies that leads the couples in the most important things during their wedding reception. Their first dance, the parent dances, setting up the toast. These are all things that the DJ does as an MC and as a provider of the technology that's required. Other than having a dance floor, DJs provide the music for cocktail hour and for dinner. And while we aren't allowed to have open dance floors right now, this is still a very important role to play. The curation of cocktail hour music, the curation of dinner music, this is going to be so much more important than it has ever been, because this is going to be the entertainment for the night. Now, there are some DJs that have been doing games and things like that for a long time, and that's their wheelhouse, and that's good. Personally, I am not one of those DJs, and I'm still not looking into going to do those things because I'm still very much focused on music, as that's been my personal focus as a DJ. I am bringing that focus even more to making sure that dinner music is on point, setting the vibe. We won't have cocktail hour for a while, we won't have dancing for a while, but making sure that we get that good music to really set the scene in the background and give the emotion in the background to someone's wedding day is very, very important. On top of all the things that DJs normally do that people expect with the music and the MC, is that oftentimes DJs will provide uplighting or photo booths. And right now, in the photo booth world, so many changes are happening. Yes, we're not going to have the props for a while, and people don't really want to touch the photo booths, but touchless photo booths are here. We have one. We will be putting it out. Now, here's one of the interesting things in my own theory about why a large hotel chain is telling their clients that DJs are not allowed. Having worked in the corporate and hotel AV world for a very, very long time, my suspicion is this provides an opportunity for them to get business for their in-house AV provider. So that means the PSAVs of the world are going to come out and set up microphones and set everything up so they can provide the equipment, they can provide the technology to facilitate your wedding. They can plug an iPod in. But they're not coming to someone's wedding invested in making that day right. Okay, this is a big corporation that is sending an AV tech to do something that DJs have been doing for a long time and are personally invested in their clients to make sure that their days come out perfect. An AV tech, having been one, is not going to do that. They're going to show up, turn the microphone on, maybe press play on a playlist, and they're going to walk away. There's no love there. There's no, connection there. It's just there. That's why DJs are so important. So it's important for you as a vendor, as a venue, as a client as a DJ to really impress how important it is that we provide those things. When it comes down to it, 95% of the DJ companies in the world are small businesses. They're mom and pop shops. That's who they are. PSAV is not a mom and pop shop. A lot of the corporate AV companies are not mom and pop shops. They are large corporate entities with locations across the world. They care about making sure that everything works. Don't get me wrong. They care about making sure that everything works, but they're not going to be invested in their clients, in their couples, in the weddings, because it's not what they do. When you have a DJ come in, you are supporting a local business. You are supporting the local economy. You're supporting a family. So to limit DJs and keep them from going into venues to provide these services that they've been providing for years, I'm sorry, is absolutely ridiculous. So please, as we're moving forward, whether you're here in Boston, in Massachusetts, in New England, or anywhere in the country where you're starting to see this happen, whether you are a DJ or a vendor or a client, stand up for the DJ. Stand up for the small businesses that are struggling so hard right now to keep their lights on and to provide for their families. Stand up for those small businesses and stand up to the venues that are going to tell you that DJs are not allowed during this coronavirus time. We should be allowed. We can provide our services without dance floors, as much as we want dance floors, but we are still part of the wedding vendor team. And to eliminate us is not only insulting, but it's probably not going to get the best for your clients.